Hello again, and welcome to day 2 of reading all of Genesis during January. So today I'm going to start with Genesis 3 for day 2 because we're trying to get through here. So my Bible is still, my main Bible is still in the car. So I've got with me the children's Bible of yesteryear. I don't think even though it's older than I am, I really don't think I'll ever give it away because 1, it's beautiful, but 2, my grandmother actually gave it to my mother. It's inscribed in the front of it. Mom got it when she was a kid, so it's now mine, and I'm gonna read it because just because something's a little bit older doesn't mean that it can't still be useful. I think the Bible second that motion. Okay, so for Genesis 3, they are driven from the garden. So the Lord said to the serpent, I'm a little bit ahead. There we go. So, the most cunning of the beasts the Lord had made was the serpent. And the serpent said to the woman, Did God forbid you to eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden? The woman said, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, except the tree which is in the middle of the garden. I wonder if the tree of life and the tree of good and evil, like the one that I mentioned in the previous video, I wonder if they're near each other. This is just a thought though. Of this God said, You shall not eat of it, nor touch it, lest ye die. You will not die, said the serpent. Lies! God knows that the day you eat of the fruit your eyes shall be opened, and you will be like gods, knowing good from evil. The woman looked at the tree and saw that it was pleasant to the eye and good for food. She felt like it was to be desired because it would make one wise. So she picked some of the fruit and ate it. She gave some also to her husband who was with her, and he ate it. Okay, so that's another thing that I find interesting. Just, I guess, verbally annotating what I'm reading. She thought that it would be good. And she did have, I guess, good intentions after being lied to, but she still did sin. So this is the entry of sin into humanity. So this is a big moment, right? This is the downfall of humanity, essentially. And it all starts with someone lying, deceit, and her wanting to be wise. I wonder if this is a precursor. I believe, was it Solomon? It might have been King Solomon. I really hope I've gotten the king's name correctly. But how all he wanted was to be wise. And I'm going to look it up too. But essentially God asked, what do you want? And then he was like, yeah, I want to be wise. And then because he asked that, God granted him everything else. I wonder if that's part of the reason why God looks so favorably upon that, because Eve supposedly wants to be wise. So then that could be part of the reason why God was extra okay, yeah, I got you. I understood the thought process there. Let me bless you extra. Maybe. I don't know. Also, to the point of sin entering, I think it also means that Adam was deceived too, because of course, everyone says, oh, well, Eve, gave it to him, but it says that he was there. And then, so it says literally, so she picked up some of the fruit and ate it, and she gave some also to her husband who was with her, and he ate it. Was he lied to too? They all just believe it? I also feel really bad, though, because, of course, this is the fall of humanity. But sin enters the world literally just because there wasn't discernment. Because they didn't know better than to believe, or not believe, I guess, the most cunning of the beast. But, you're gonna get your lick back. Oh, pardon me, Lord. That's not the way I'm supposed to be reflecting on this. To continue. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked. So they sewed fig leaves together to cover themselves. In the cool of the day, the Lord walked in the garden. The man and the woman heard the voice of the Lord and hid themselves from his presence among the trees of the garden. The Lord called to man, saying, "Where are you?" "I have heard your voice in the garden," said man. "I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself." "Who told you that you were naked?" asked the Lord. "Have you eaten the fruit of the tree from which I commanded you not to eat?" Man said, "The woman whom you gave me to be with gave me fruit of the tree, and I did eat." Oh, so you can hear the remorse in his voice. Like, yeah, I ate it. And the Lord God said to woman, "What is this you have done?" And then she said, "The serpent tempted me," said the woman, "and I ate." So they recognize that they did the wrong thing. But I also really appreciate the fact that they were truthful. They figured out that they did the wrong thing, but they didn't lie about it, so that's good. Sadly, this is the part that we all know, or maybe you don't. So this is a place for everyone. If you don't know, hello. But they're driven from the garden, so this is the sad part. The Lord God said to the serpent, the one who is the cause of all of this, "Because you have done this, you are cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field." Oh, so above everything, that's the highest curse. Okay. "You shall crawl on your belly and eat dust all the days of your life. I shall make the woman your enemy, and her children the enemies of your children. They shall wound you in the head, and you shall wound them in the heel." To the woman he said, "I will multiply your suffering. You shall bring forth your children in sorrow, and for happiness you shall depend on your husband, and he shall rule over you." That's interesting. That's actually very interesting. I don't think I've seen that put that way before. Maybe this Bible is just really different. But I understand. I always remember the part about multiplying the suffering, and that when reproduction happens and when a woman gives birth, it's supposed to hurt because of that. But I've never read it where it says that you shall depend on your husband and he shall rule over you, and that is her, I guess, punishment. And that can apply to a whole bunch of other stuff in the Bible with the way of how the supposed, or not even supposed, but how marriage is decreed. That's actually really interesting. Okay. And to the man he said, "Because you listened to the voice of your wife and ate of the forbidden fruit, the ground shall be cursed beneath you, and sorrow you shall eat of it every day of your life. Thorns and thistles it will bring forth for you, and you shall eat the grass of the field. By the sweat of your brow you will earn your bread until you return to the earth. For out of the earth you were taken. Dust you are, and to dust you will return." I wonder also, because that's his punishment, the punishment that all humans must face, as he is man and we are therefore human of him, that we now have to earn our food, and then to dust we shall return. So did we not have to I understand that things were just growing in the garden and everything was great and beautiful, but did we not have to eat? I have so many questions. If anyone knows the answers to these questions, please do help. And then did we not die? Am I analyzing this too much? But I'm just wondering, if that's the punishment, what was it before the punishment? And then, okay, just to continue. The Lord God then made coats of skin for the man and his wife, and clothed them. And the Lord God said, "Behold, the man is like one of us now, knowing all things. If he were to put on his hat, and eat also of the tree of life, he would live forever." Therefore, the Lord God sent man out of the Garden of Eden to till the ground from which he was made. He drove him out, and placed cherubim to the east of the Garden of Eden, and a flaming sword which turned in every direction to guard the path to the tree of life. Another interesting thing, God only told them to not eat of the tree of good and evil, and that the tree of life here, as it's literally depicted and written, would lead someone to live forever. So going back to that point where it was saying his punishment is to now return to the dust because that is where he was taken from. Like, was our reward to literally live forever? Because it doesn't say that you can't eat from the tree of life. It just says don't eat from the tree of good and evil. So was that going to be a reward when he came back? Like, if that's the case, dang. Well, so ends chapter 3 of Genesis.